Good evening. Thank you for joining us. We're having two discussions today. A little later, about 9 o'clock, we'll have a conversation about the floods in Maharashtra and what you can do to help. Thousands of people have been displaced from their homes and they need ration, they need dry clothes, they need help. And we put out information on how you can reach out and what you can donate and how you can help, and proper verified NGOs that are working on the ground. But today we're going to talk about Karnataka right now. Yediyurappa, the Chief Minister of Karnataka, resigned today. A lot of people in the journalistic circles are not surprised. There was some speculation. Yediyurappa is an 8-time MLA, 1-time MP, MLC, thrice the leader of the opposition, 4 times CM, but choppy terms as CM, short terms as CM. And he made a rather teary-eyed statement today when he was incidentally celebrating completion of 2 years of his government. And he did suggest that it had something to do with his age. He said that I thank the Prime Minister and the Home Minister for allowing me to continue even after I crossed 75 years of age. He's now 78. We're going to quickly take a look at what is really going on there. Joining me right now, Dhanya, Rajendra, the co-founder and editor-in-chief of the News Minute. I'm sure you're all familiar with her work. Also, Bharath Joshi, the chief of the political bureau at the Deccan Herald. I thank you both so much for your time to help us understand what's going on. Bharath, coming to you first, was it the age factor that that led to this resignation, or was there something more to it?
It was the age factor was one of the primary reasons for this, because you must understand that the new BJP dispensation under the Modi-Shah duo, there is an unwritten rule that no one above 75 years of age will hold positions of power. This includes even election tickets. Now, that being the case, Yediyurappa was allowed to become the CM at the age of 76 2 years ago. So it is now emerging clearly that that was the deal, that he should step down after he completes 2 years. So age was a big reason. And also, there were other reasons too. I mean, there was generally there was a sense of unhappiness with his administration, with the style of functioning. You must remember a minister in his cabinet went to Raj Bhavan with a complaint against him. That was very unprecedented. And you had MLAs coming out in the open. There was also a thing with his son allegedly interfering in the administration. So all these reasons added to his exit today.
We've also seen him since his visit to Delhi. He came back and he had rather public meetings with the heads of the Lingayat community. It was obviously a public sort of illustration of his influence over that community. So he didn't go quietly. As those of us who are familiar with Karnataka politics know that he is not a man to go quietly at all. What do you think was that final sort of push?
So earlier in the day, I had a chat with the senior BJP leader who is someone directly aware of the developments. And this is the word he used. He called it drama. Because the writing was on the wall. It was decided as early as July 10 that he has to go. And still, Yediyurappa holds these meetings with, like you said, pontiffs from the Lingayat community to which he belongs. And really, it was his last-ditch flexing of muscles, which has not gone down very well with the High Command, I am told. Which is why his son, Rajendra, was summoned to Delhi a few days ago, and he was asked about it. He said, look, you're going. What's all this show of strength that's happening? So that was really... we must also understand that the Lingayat community is his core constituency. He belongs to that community. He's arguably the tallest leader of that community. So there are two things here. This is what I've been given to understand. There were some pontiffs of these mutts who came on their own to show solidarity with Yediyurappa. And then there were others who were manipulated into coming out in the open to support him. At the end, it only shows, like you said, the clout he holds over that community. So that's what happened. To my mind, it was just really last-minute show of strength.
Well, I want to bring in Dhanya Rajendra here. Dhanya, the there is a lot of speculation about who's going to replace him. Incidentally, he handed in his resignation. The governor accepted his resignation, asked him to continue until they find a replacement. So there's no clarity on who's taking over. Now, the BJP in other states, at least, except for Karnataka up till now, has always picked a chief minister who let's say, has not come in with their own story or their own power. Someone who sort of comes in from the dark a little bit with less of a legacy and, this is how they played it in other states. Is there any buzz right now you are picking up on who the replacement is likely to be? There's some talk about Dalit, there's some talk about Lingayat. How is that going to play out?
Well, I think no one in the BJP clearly knows. There are so many names doing the rounds that it's like anyone can become the chief minister at this point. But yes, I think the BJP has a few combinations it can work on. One, it can have a Lingayat chief minister itself. The second, it can have a non-Lingayat chief minister and a Lingayat deputy chief minister. Or it can have a non-Lingayat chief minister and a couple of deputy chief ministers. So there are a lot of formulas that BJP can sort of look at. And we are hearing many names from the Lingayats. There is Murugesh Nirani, Arvind Bellad. There are, of course, names like Prahlad Joshi, B.L. Santosh, who are Brahmins. So we are hearing many names, Faye. But I think the point really is not about the name. There are two options before the BJP, clearly. One is whether they want to choose a path where they antagonize B.S. Yediyurappa by not accepting any of his compromise formulas, or two, they decide to go ahead and antagonize B.S. Yediyurappa and meet what comes. Now, remember in 2012, when Sadananda Gowda was made the chief minister, he was B.S. Yediyurappa's compromise candidate. And then they had a fallout. Then came Jagdish Shettar, again they had a fallout. So Karnataka BJP has been there, done that. As in, they've had compromise formulas, they've asked for B.S. Yediyurappa's opinion, they've brought in a CM who Yediyurappa approves, and then suddenly Yediyurappa disapproves of that chief minister. So the choice before the BJP is to decide whether they want to keep Yediyurappa in good humor. If that is so, who from his coterie will they allow in this cabinet, including his son B.Y. Vijayendra, or whether they will simply go ahead with their own formula, think of a new leader, a new era perhaps for the BJP in the state.
So I want Bharath to also weigh in on this, because what are the considerations right now for the BJP? Right? We've got elections coming up in a couple of years. Is that what they're going to be focusing on to retain Karnataka, given Karnataka is the only state in the south of India that the BJP has a stronghold? It's a foothold. It's a strong foothold. We saw Tejasvi Surya become slightly active during COVID, and then he sort of left very quickly again after that because that activity didn't go down really well.
Yes.
So, Bharath first and then Dhanya, what are the considerations that BJP is going to be keeping in mind when they choose this replacement?
So any chief ministerial candidate that they will pick now will be keeping in mind the 2023 polls. Now, you should know that we are under 2 years away from the elections. Now, the choice they make now will have a direct bearing on the outcome of that election. And Karnataka is an important state for them. It's the only state in the south, like you said, where they have a formidable base. Now, how will they go about choosing a candidate? There is obviously the caste factor that Dhanya was talking about. Now, to my mind, if they go with a non-Lingayat CM, now Lingayats are traditionally seen as the BJP's core support base. They form an estimated 16% of the population. So that's a lot of votes that we are talking about. If they go with a non-Lingayat chief minister, then the messaging will be that, look, we are a party that can grow beyond the support of one community. And it will also be a way for them to really go big on their Hindutva agenda, which they did to a big extent in the 2018 polls. Now, that's the path that they can take. But for me, 2023 polls and various caste combinations, and also the new CM, whoever it will be, will have to find a way to work with Yediyurappa. He will still remain a force in the party.
The appointment of Sujatakaranjali to a ministerial post in the union government, was that part of this compromise?
I don't think so. At least that's not what I heard, because Shobha is someone, she's a self-made woman politically. She has had mentors, yes, but it was really her own organizational skills, her RSS, the Sangh background that she came from. Also, we know that she also had some fallout with Yediyurappa of late, which is why she has not been identified with Yediyurappa's close circles. So I don't think that was part of any deal that Yediyurappa had.
Where is the buzz about, Bharath, about a Dalit chief minister coming from? There's a lot of talk on Twitter about a possible Dalit chief minister in Karnataka. Is that a possibility?
That is a possibility, yes. In fact, this demand for a Dalit CM is not exclusive to the BJP. In fact, I would argue that it's a bigger demand in the Congress. But yes, there is some section in the party believes that a Dalit can be the CM. Now, the advantage with this will be clearly you will be then able to consolidate a huge chunk of SCs. There are so many communities under scheduled castes. So in one go, you will be able to consolidate all those communities in your favor. And the BJP also has a number of Dalit leaders there. But will they do that? I don't know. If they do, then that will put them in an advantage, if you ask me.
A lot of our viewers are saying that because Karnataka is my home state, you want to know what my opinion is. So I don't normally put out an opinion on politics, but I will tell you this. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Bangalore was hit really hard. Karnataka was hit really hard. We know there is a third wave coming. There are floods in North Karnataka right now. There are tons of problems. I would like for this to be sorted out really quickly so it does not disrupt work in the state. And that was going to be my next question to Dhanya Rajendra as well. How critical is it that this doesn't disrupt work for the state government? Because it does. We always know when something like this happens, everybody is a chicken without a head for like 10 days, 20 days until something gets sorted out, especially in Karnataka that likes its resorts. So how disruptive is this likely to be, Dhanya?
I think most states and their bureaucracies have now figured out how to function without politicians around. I'm not kidding, because for the last, I think I've been covering Karnataka politics since 2009 only. And ever since that, I've seen so many times B.S. Yediyurappa himself in all sorts of trouble, resort politics being played out, whichever government is in power. So, of course, there is going to be trouble. We need ministers. We need a chief minister. Faye, like I said, even if a new chief minister is announced and he's sworn in, he or she is sworn in. She is not at all a possibility now, but I'm just saying for the sake of it, when he or she is sworn in, remember a new cabinet has to be sworn in. And if a lot of the people who are there in the cabinet today do not find a place in the cabinet tomorrow, they are going to be unhappy. This is an ongoing cycle we see in Karnataka. Whichever government comes to power, especially the BJP government, there is so much of dissatisfaction and dissent, because I think almost everybody wants to become a minister. So there is no end to the troubles here. There is no end to the political trouble here. I'm sure Bharath will be very busy through the year and next year. So the thing is, whoever becomes the chief minister, the political troubles will not end. But I hope that the bureaucracy has found a way to function, despite all this.
I hope so too. But you know what? If we look at the challenges of infrastructure that Bangalore goes through, if we look at the challenges of healthcare infrastructure that Bangalore has witnessed, not to mention what happens in the rest of the state, I don't know if that is something I want to hang my hat on at this point. And it's a crucial point that wherein businesses are suffering. We need help from the state government. Bharath, do you want to weigh in on this? Do you think that the bureaucracy is strong enough to sort of continue on its own?
Overall, if you ask me, if there is political instability, that does trickle down to the bureaucracy and it disorients them. I've had bureaucrats themselves telling me that, look, whenever there is, at a time when there is political instability and there's a political crisis brewing, it affects the general morale of the bureaucracy. And you should know that it is, after all, the bureaucracy that runs the government, really. They implement the schemes. They are the ones out there doing your work. But in this case, we are looking at a transition process that can be as quick as 2 to 3 days. This is what I'm picking up from the party. They have already kick-started the process. Observers are on their way to Bangalore, and there is a process that they will do. But again, it's going to be a fresh start, a new cabinet that will be in place. It's a new government that's going to come.
Mhm.
So, and every new government will have its set of priorities, which the bureaucracy has to get used to.
Because, Bharath, I remember during the second wave of COVID, having conversations with senior officers in the BBMP, which is Bangalore's municipal corporation, who were slightly envious of other municipal corporations, other cities who had a freer hand. They said, we wish we had that much freedom to make the decisions we need to make, because politics was constantly getting in the way. And incidentally, between Mr. Tejasvi Surya and Mr. Yediyurappa, it was BJP getting in the way of BJP. So we've seen an illustration of how this, this sort of gets in the way. But are you confident that this is going to get sorted out in the next 2 days? Because it's also out of character a little bit for the BJP to extract a resignation without having, the choice in place, right? This is not normally how they do things.
I refuse to believe that they don't have someone in mind already.
Right.
So if you look at the swiftness with which the governor accepted the resignation, he issued a notification dissolving the council of ministers and then asking Yediyurappa to continue as the caretaker CM. It looks like the paperwork was ready. They knew this was going to happen. And like I said, I hope that in the next 2-3 days, the new government will take shape. The sooner the better for the state, for the people. And with floods and the pandemic in place, it's better if we get a new government soon.
Dhanya, Rajendra, what is the buzz on the ground? I mean, I've now over the years started to take Twitter less seriously, okay? Because on Twitter now there are 2 points of view. There seems to be some sort of Lingayat movement on Twitter saying they're very upset. How can they do this to our leader? And there is another point of view that says, no, this is a healthy thing to do. 75 age group, the bracket has to be followed. But what's the buzz you're picking up on the ground in Bangalore?
There's definitely dissatisfaction amongst the Lingayat leaders, etc. But see, it all depends on what happens next. If the BJP does choose a Lingayat leader to replace B.S. Yediyurappa, a lot of that dissatisfaction will die down. But as Bharath said, if another caste leader is selected in place of B.S. Yediyurappa, then how will the Lingayats view it? Will they see that as belittling them? That remains to be seen. So there are a lot of combinations which the BJP can try now. But see, a few leaders I spoke to also said that the BJP is looking at a party beyond caste equations now. I don't know what that's really a calculation or it is just them claiming it to be so. But some of the leaders believe that they have to look beyond the caste factor. So look at Telangana, for example, where the BJP has grown in the past few years. Now they have this so-called enemy, which is either Muslims or Christians. In Andhra, it is Christians. In Telangana, it is Muslims. So they brought everyone else under the Hindutva umbrella, and they have been able to win a few seats. So in Karnataka, we could see the BJP's politics changing if they go beyond the caste factor. Now, if they are again going to choose a Lingayat leader to replace B.S. Yediyurappa, then I think the BJP will be playing it safe till the next election. But if they bring a drastic change, that means they will also change the way BJP's politics operates in the state.
So here's the question. And all of us have been tracking this. There was the Kumaraswamy government that collapsed because some people changed sides. Now there's the Yediyurappa government. So there is a sort of floating population among the politicians of Karnataka, right, who go from one side to another side. Is that likely to happen at all? Is there any possibility of that, Bharath?
In my office group, people were discussing today that what if some of the MLAs go and stay in a resort? I'm like, shub bolo, please don't say this again. So Faye, really, like I said, when a new cabinet is announced, there will be at least 4 or 5 senior BJP leaders who will have to be left out, and they are going to be unhappy. Are they going to just remain unhappy and quiet? We don't know. So, and the Congress now says we will not fish in troubled waters, but definitely fish in troubled waters. So, as I said, anything is possible.
So the other thing that we must take into consideration, Bharath, and now we're deep in conspiracy theory territory at this point. D.K. Shivkumar was not the state president of the party when waters were being troubled last time. He is now. So is he going to visit troubled waters or not? And whether or not, party leaders who get sort of tossed out of the cabinet are going to be quiet is a different question. I'm still wondering where, Ravi Shankar Prasad and Prakash Javadekar are right now after losing the central cabinet. But what is your take on this? Will there be some more turncoats who will turn their coat again?
There will be, in my opinion, but that will be closer to the election, not right now. Because whatever said and done, their party, with the BJP in this case, is still in power. So they will try to get whatever they can till the last minute. But closer to the elections, look, I will not be surprised if of the 16 who quit and joined the BJP, who quit the Congress-JDS coalition and joined the BJP, I will not be surprised if half of them go back.
Yeah.
Right. So that's a possibility. But that,
exactly,
like I said,
what the reporters were saying, and I was like, no, please don't say this now.
But we hope that it won't happen now. It will happen closer to the elections. And during an election, it's very common. We have seen in Karnataka, party hopping becomes the norm of the day during an election.
I mean, you both mentioned the Congress, but Bharath, nobody talked about what's happening at the Gowda camp. Is there any interest? What is the reaction coming out of there?
I haven't checked, but I don't think there has been a reaction from the JDS.
Yeah.
No, I meant to say the last I checked, there was no reaction from the JDS. Congress has been all over the place with this CM's resignation. And also, look, I think with the JDS, at least for us in the media, it's the party is in dire straits. They are also struggling for some recognition or identity even. But it's a regional party. It's bad for them. I hope they pick up.
Right. I'm going to leave it there. Dhanya, do you want to add anything before we wrap up? I know I only have time till 8:30 with the both of you.
No, I'm curious as everyone else who the next Chief Minister of Karnataka will be. And I'm a little tired of listicles. But one thing one has to give to the BJP, that they can keep things under wraps for such a long time, that even their senior most leaders will give you at least 3 names as an option because they don't want to be caught out having given the wrong name.
So the suspense holds, and based on both of the senior journalists, it's likely to hold for the next day or two. In the meantime, remember, we'll bring you updates here to understand what's going on with the news. But Bharath and Dhanya, thank you so much for giving us time and having this chat with us. I enjoyed having this conversation.
Thank you.
I enjoyed conversations about my home state at any point. Thanks, guys, for watching. We're going to come back at 9 o'clock. Like I said, we'll talk about the floods in Maharashtra. Also, now problems brewing with the flooding in Goa and in North Karnataka. We'll tell you what NGOs are working on the ground and how you can help, because really, it's time. It's time we all get together.